Good morning, and thank you for attending our second Virtual Society Awards and Annual Business Meeting. I'm Jean-Louis Bouillot, the 2021 president of this great organization. Today, we recognize the recipients of ASCE's Leadership and Society Awards, receive the State of Society report, and install the Society's new officers. The leadership of the Society worked diligently throughout the year to act on numerous issues that affect the profession. Please join me in thanking the ASCE Board of Direction, the Regent Boards of Governors, presidents of our institutes and organizational entities from around the world as they join us today. We're honored to have many of ASCE's past presidents, distinguished members, life members, and fellows in the audience. And we cannot forget to welcome our future leaders, the students, and younger members in attendance here today. Most importantly, we're pleased to have you, our members and guests, joining us for this virtual event. It is now my pleasure to ask ASCE Executive Director Tom Smith to present his report to the membership on the state of the Society.
Greetings, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the virtual convention. We've been very busy with a staff team and active members worldwide, and I'd like to share a few ways we've been working hard for you. The ASCE team has been working hard for you on Capitol Hill. In January, as the incoming presidential administration was making infrastructure investment a cornerstone of its plans to boost the nation's economy, we released our Failure to Act studies with economic reports. The Failure to Act studies quantify how persistent underinvestment in our aging infrastructure affects the economy. Our studies found that inefficient infrastructure from disruptions such as hitting potholes, sitting in traffic, power outages, and water main breaks cost the average American household $3,300 a year. As our nation faces an imminent infrastructure crisis, we generated awareness of the physical condition and the needed investments to improve our nation's infrastructure through releasing our award-winning infrastructure report card. The 2021 report card was probably our most significant ever, given the timing of its release with the infrastructure bill in Congress. As part of the release, in March, we hosted a solutions summit with over 4,000 attendees, featuring expert panels on resilience, water infrastructure, transportation, energy, dams and levees, inland waterways, and ports. The report card received extensive media coverage, including from top-tier news outlets like the New York Times, NPR, CNN, the Associated Press, and Reuters. We conducted also a radio media tour that reached more than 25 stations. Along with the unveiling of the report card, we published 13 new ASCE game changers. The game changers range from new strategic optimization software to increase efficiency at our nation's ports, to roadways built out of recyclables that are even more durable than concrete and asphalt. We revised our Code of Ethics, the first major revision in 46 years, reshaping it entirely from a canon-based document to one focused on engineers' stakeholders. It's a nimble document that is more relevant to the needs and actions of engineers today. The Code of Ethics preamble states, members of the American Society of Civil Engineers conduct themselves with integrity and professionalism, and above all else, protect and advance the health, safety, and welfare of the public through the practice of civil engineering. The stakeholder priorities follow, beginning with the society, through natural and built environment, the profession, clients and employers, and peers. This allows civil engineers to clearly articulate their ethical responsibility to each. The stakeholder model also means that topics such as the canon added in 2017 that required fair and equal treatment for all are integrated throughout the code instead of being isolated in one section of the document. To help civil engineers meet their responsibility for inclusive and equitable practice, members of society advancing an inclusive culture, Mosaic, created a diversity, equity, and inclusion best practices guide to provide a source for ASCE volunteer leaders to develop and implement programs and activities focused on actively promoting DEI. Rollout of the guide will start in the fall. We've also continued to work with the launch of a new website as part of our digital strategy, The new ASCE.org is your one source for daily ASCE and engineering news, Civil Engineering Magazine, podcasts, and other media. Along with a personalized homepage, the single sign-in feature allows you to log in automatically to ASCE Library, My Learning, and ASCE Collaborate. And the site's responsive design means you can easily access your account information, purchase history, and institute membership from your desktop, laptop, or smartphone. Plus, the site search feature uses artificial intelligence to provide search results that will improve over time. The new site also includes the new Civil Engineering Source website and its companion piece, the Daily Civil Engineering Source newsletter. The Source website aggregates ASCE news and features in a single site that includes the mobile-friendly edition of Civil Engineering Magazine, along with expanded online exclusive content from the award-winning magazine staff. This information hub will grow to include Geostrata and other institute magazines and expanded technical and multimedia content, offering members a one-stop experience. We also launched an all-new and improved Career Connections site to help you take on your next career step today. And if you own your own engineering firm, it will help you find your ideal candidate. We've enhanced the student experience by making it easier for student members to transition to ASCE professional membership post-graduation. We've begun upgrading student members automatically to professional membership, providing free dues for the first full year, and then at 50% of full dues through age 28. We reorganized student conferences with ASCE regions to strengthen the relationship and reimagined our student symposia with a wide range of engaging and educational student competitions. After an absence of 3 years, we renewed our Student Steel Bridge competition partnership with the American Institute of Steel Construction, starting with the 2021 to 2022 school year, joining a host of other exciting student competitions, including the popular ASCE Innovation Contest. We have the ASCE Student Ambassador Program returning for its third year with 26 student superfans to represent ASCE in geographic regions. And we have a new student presidential group selectively nominated by all institutes and regions under the leadership of President Briot, who along with his wife Janet have endowed a $1 million student endowment that will support ASCE student members for generations to come. We've also been working for you by keeping our eye on the future, 50 years in the future. Megacity 2070, a desktop-based virtual experience that is in the final phase of its development, is a key part of ASCE's Future World Vision initiative. Megacity 2070 is an imaginary city built at the confluence of two rivers that has grown from a population of 15 million in 2020 to 50 million in 2070. Users will immerse themselves in journeys through the various parts of the city, exploring the infrastructure and living experience through the city's evolution, while debating future trends and engaging in conversations on topics of their interest. A Future World Vision panel session during the convention will introduce attendees to the Megacity 2070 platform experience from multiple perspectives, and it will include a discussion with experts on the application of the platform in practice, academia, and the government. Please enjoy a sneak peek at what's ahead.
Glaciers are losing mass at an alarming pace.
Intensify significantly, as you can
The
see
wildfire
behind
is
me.
now the second largest in state history.
We created 2 manuals of practice providing you with the tools to design, plan, and build more resiliently, safely, sustainably, and more consistently. The new Hazard Resilient Infrastructure Analysis and Design Manual of Practice 144 provides guidance and an underlying framework for designing new infrastructure systems with consistency across hazards, systems, and sectors. The earlier Climate Resilient Infrastructure, Adaptive Design and Risk Management Manual of Practice 140 also provides guidance for and contributes to developing methods for infrastructure analysis and design in a world in which risk profiles are changing. The National Institute of Standards and Technology announced in August that they would establish an expert team to conduct a technical investigation into the partial collapse of the Champlain Towers South Condominium in Surfside, Florida. 12 of the 13 team members are ASCE members, and the 2 co-leads of this team, longtime ASCE members Glenn Bell and Judith Matrani-Reisner, sit on the Collaborative Reporting on Structural Safety U.S. board, also known as CROSS, a database for sharing lessons learned from structural failures. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the need to rebuild the national economy and address the emerging impacts of climate change. Investment in climate resilient infrastructure is integral for the success of these goals. That's why we're also collaborating with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the University of Maryland Center for Technology and Systems Management to integrate a climate science into engineering practice for the design and construction of climate resilient infrastructure. And from December 6th through 10th, the 2021 International Conference on Sustainable Infrastructure will highlight the latest thinking in sustainable civil engineering. Leaders will discuss leveraging sustainable infrastructure for resilient communities and the latest developments and advancements in design, construction, technology, policy, and education related to sustainable and resilient infrastructure. Walking the talk at home, ASCE completed this past year its new sustainable parking lot at ASCE headquarters. Thanks to the support of dozens of ASCE members and donor organizations, ASCE's parking lot now showcases a couple of different bioretention facilities, a couple of different permeable pavements, as well as asphalt made with recycled tires. We can't wait for you all to visit your ASCE headquarters and learning laboratory. We're working hard for you by doing more with less. We're engaging members in all sectors, including through creation of a new Government Engineers Council, welcoming new state DOT members through ASCE's new Department of Transportation Partners Program. And we are exercising our global voice through leadership of multiple international engineering societies, including the Asian Civil Engineering Coordinating Council, the Pan American Federation of Engineers, and the World Federation of Engineering Organizations UN Relations Committee. We've learned that we can engage members and accomplish many society goals and strategic initiatives with significantly less travel, a pattern we expect to continue even as the pandemic passes. Through our virtual offerings like our ASCE Convention and ASCE Tech Talks, we've been able to reach more people around the world for an affordable price and a reduced carbon footprint. This year's Tech Talks are bundled with your convention registration and available as a standalone option. It will feature top technical sessions curated by our institutes and technical divisions. The 6-week series will run after the convention on Tuesdays from October 12th through November the 16th. These are only a few of the many things we're doing to serve you. I hope you agree that we are working hard to advance you in your career and keeping you informed on the issues that matter most to you. Thank you all for your support of ASCE and the profession.
Thank you, Tom. It's a pleasure to now recognize the recipients of our first group of awards.
Founded in 1872, the Norman Medal is the Society's oldest award. It recognizes a paper for meritorious contributions to engineering science. The writing team is Professor Xiao Zhang at the College of Civil Engineering, Hunan University, and Ning Lu, professor at the Colorado School of Mines. The Professional Practice Ethics and Leadership Award recognizes an engineer practitioner's incident-specific or career-long application of ethics to achieve conspicuous success in a leadership role. Victor Donald is Senior Vice President, National Director of Geotechnical Services at Terracon Consultants. The Collingwood Prize honors younger authors, while the Wellington Prize recognizes a paper for its outstanding contribution to transportation engineering. As a first in many years, they are presented to a single paper. The lead author, Bharadwaj Mantha, is a visiting professor at the University of Sharjah in the UAE. Other members of the writing team are Carol Manasseh, Vineet Kamat, and Clive D'Souza, faculty members at the University of Michigan. The Edmund Friedman Young Engineer Award for Professional Achievement recognizes public service outside recipients' professional careers. Nestor Godinez is employed as Associate Engineer at SLR International Corporation. Project Engineer Jesse Gormley is employed by Panoni. Amit Joshi is Senior Dam Safety Engineer working for the California Department of Water Resources. Project Manager Carly Kaneko works at Austin, Tsutsumi and Associates, Incorporated. Assistant Professor Kevin McMullen is a faculty member of the United States Military Academy at West Point. The Younger Member Group Award recognizes outstanding contributions to younger member sections and branches. Jazzy Principe represents the Orange County Younger Member Forum, honored for hosting the first ever virtual popsicle stick bridge competition for high school students, jump-starting a university YMF mentorship program with 27 mentorship pairs and holding the first ever virtual senior graduation celebration. Kapiolani Street represents the Hawaii section Younger Member Forum, honored for its activity with STEM outreach events, while also bringing a reinvigorating energy, camaraderie, and uplifting spirit to the engineering community. The Daniel W. Mead Prize for Younger Members recognizes the author of a paper on professional ethics. Catherine Martsolf is employed by U.S. Environmental Protection Agency as a Brownfields Project Manager. The Alfred Nobel Prize is a joint society award recognizing a technical paper of exceptional merit. Lead author Professor Ji-Chao Lai teaches at Fuzhou University. Professor Amit Varma is at Purdue University.
The members of the ASCE Board of Direction are dedicated volunteers who donate numerous hours of their personal time and energy to serve you during their 3-year term. Please join me in thanking these board members who stepped down from service today. Robert L. Cagle III, Region 4 Director. Tony C. G. Lau, Region 8 Director. David J. Ode, Technical Region Director. Carl C. Sutter, Region 3 Director. Maria C. Lehman, Treasurer. Kanchipuram N. Gunalan, Past President. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all ASCE members, I extend our sincere appreciation and gratitude to you for giving so much of yourselves to the profession and ASCE. Thank you for your service. Before we begin recognition of our next group of award winners, you can see more about the actual awards and view recipients' acceptance remarks on the convention website at the address shown on the screen. Now, our second group of awardees.
The Edmund Friedman Professional Recognition Award honors substantial contributions to the status of the engineering profession. John Kissinger is President and CEO at Grafe, one of ENR's top 500 engineering, planning, and design firms since 2012. The State of the Art of Civil Engineering Award recognizes a publication for its review and interpretation of state-of-the-art scientific and technical information. The lead author is Evan O'Brien, a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Irene Jago-Raraki is associate professor at Michigan State University. The Ernest E. Howard Award is presented for contributions that advance structural engineering through research, planning, design, or construction. Professor Gongkang Fu is a faculty member at the Illinois Institute of Technology. The Crows Medal recognizes a paper for meritorious contributions across all civil engineering disciplines. The writing team is led by Jinbo Chen, offshore geotechnical engineer employed by Shell Global Solutions, U.S. Co-authors are Professor Robert Gilbert of the University of Texas at Austin, Principal Engineer Albert Koo of DNV, Junyi Chen, a senior consultant with Golder Associates Incorporated, and Peter Marshall, an engineering consultant in Campbell, California. The Civil Engineering Entrepreneur of the Year Award recognizes entrepreneurs who have created successful private sector organizations and/or expanded the civil engineering horizon. John Williams is being recognized for founding and growing W&A Engineering, a multidisciplinary national engineering firm working in more than 45 states and acting as on-call civil engineers and economic development consultants in more than 35 communities. The Journal of Management and Engineering Best Peer-Reviewed Paper Award recognizes an outstanding paper with significant contributions to the engineering management profession, clarity and expression of presentation, and uniqueness of approach. Christina Poliakovsky is an assistant professor at Iowa State University in the Civil, Construction, and Environmental Engineering Department. Amy Javernick-Will is an associate professor at the University of Colorado, Boulder, in the Department of Civil, Environmental, and Architectural Engineering. Sheng Wang is a professor at Lee Business School at the University of Nevada. Tony Tong is a professor at Leeds School of Business at the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Mr. President, our only item of business today is that of the Tellers Report. On behalf of the Tellers Committee, Chair Kim Hughes, and the other committee members, I can officially report that the nominees slated for installation this morning as officers of ASCE have received the majority vote from the membership and can be sworn into service on the ASCE Board of Direction.
Thank you, Tom. It's my pleasure to introduce the incoming class of ASCE board members. Daniel F. Becker, Technical Region Director. Finlay G. Edwards, Region 4 Director. Lawrence M. Magura, Region 8 Director. Kenneth R. Micah, Region 3 Director. Louis C. Orjema, Treasurer. Maria C. Lehman, President-elect. Dennis D. Truax, President. This is a great group of dedicated ASCE members, and I thank them for stepping forward to take on the great responsibilities associated with leading the society. I know each of you will serve well and advance ASCE to new heights. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, do you know, in the presence of these fellow members, pledge yourself to discharge faithfully the duties of the office to which you have been elected or appointed? If so, please respond, I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
And do you, as an engineer, dedicate your professional knowledge to the advancement and betterment of human welfare? Do you pledge to give the utmost of performance to participate in none but honest enterprise, to live and work according to the laws of humanities and the highest standards of professional conduct, to place service before profit, the honor and standing of the profession before personal advantage, and the public welfare above all other consideration? If so, respond, I do.
I do.
I do. I do.
And finally, do you pledge to uphold the Constitution, bylaws, and code of ethics of the American Society of Civil Engineers? If so, please respond, I will.
I
will.
I
I
will.
will.
Thank you. Members of ASCE, without your wholehearted support, these individuals will not be able to fulfill their pledge so faithfully given. I urge you to support them as they guide this society through the coming year, assist them when called upon for help, encourage and advise them, and refrain from unjust criticism of their plans and actions. Let these pledges be your commitment that ASCE may be an increasingly greater force for the well-being of all citizens of the world whose lives are impacted by civil engineering projects. Ladies and gentlemen, you have indicated your willingness to serve, and I hereby declare you as inducted into the office for which you were elected or appointed. I charge you with the responsibility for upholding and enforcing the governing documents of the American Society of Civil Engineers, and with such other responsibilities that may be assigned to you. I also grant unto you all the rights and privileges attendant to the office you now hold. Congratulations and welcome to the ASCE Board of Direction. I now would like to introduce the President-elect of ASCE, Maria C. Lehman. Maria, it is my privilege to congratulate you on being elected by your peers to serve in this leadership position. I know Dennis and I are looking forward to working with you this year.
Thank you, Jean-Louis. I'm so excited to be able to serve the society and do great things with you and Dennis. My goal focuses ASCE resources to providing infrastructure leadership to deliver our future world vision. You can't build a healthy economy on a crumbling infrastructure. I would like to thank you for your leadership this past year in very difficult circumstances because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I appreciate your dedication, your leadership, and your friendship. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Each year, the President has the privilege of selecting dedicated members to receive awards for service to country, ASCE, and the profession. In the last awards presentation, it is my distinct honor to present the individuals selected for this year's William H. Wisely Award and the President's Medal.
The Outstanding Public Official Award recognizes civil engineers who have rendered meritorious service in elective or appointive positions in government. Mr. Williams has served Arlington, Texas as its mayor since 2015. The Young Government Civil Engineer of the Year Award is presented to a young civil engineer who has demonstrated leadership and made significant contributions to public service engineering. Brian Pfan's contributions to ASCE and his public service make him a deserving recipient for this award. The Government Civil Engineer of the Year Award recognizes civil engineers employed in public service. Patricia Kennedy is being recognized for her high character and professional integrity, outstanding civil engineering performance in the public sector, and dedication to civic and humanitarian activities. The ASCE President's Medal recognizes contributions of eminent engineers to the profession, the society, or the public. Yvette Pearson is Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the University of Texas at Dallas. James Withiam retired as Vice President and Senior Principal of Dapolonia Engineers in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. The William H. Wisely American Civil Engineer Award is presented to outstanding engineers for their continuing efforts to promote appreciation for the history, tradition, developments, and technical and professional activities of the Society. Professor Brock Barry is Director of the Civil Engineering Department at West Point. Matthew Jacobson is a Civil Analyst at Kimley Horn Associates in Los Angeles. Sophie Lipomanes is President of the Student Presidential Group, an ASCE Student Ambassador, and President of the University of Louisville ASCE Student Chapter. ASCE congratulates all 2021 award recipients on their outstanding achievements.
President Truax, it's a privilege to present you with the President's Gavel.
Thanks, President Brio.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2022 President of ASCE, Dennis D. Truax.
Thank you, Jean-Louis. It is my honor and privilege as my first presidential-elect to congratulate you on so many outstanding accomplishments during your year as president. I look forward to your counsel and guidance as we continue our service together on the ASCE Board of Direction.
Past President Brio, this has indeed been a year full of challenges. Despite all the hurdles placed before you, you led the society with integrity and never swayed in your beliefs. It has been an honor to serve with you. As a token of our appreciation, it is my pleasure to present you with a collage capturing the highlights of your presidential year. I'll now read the inscription. Jean-Louis Brio, PhD, PE, DGE, Distinguished Member, ASCE. You have often said, ask not what ASCE can do for you, but what you can do for ASCE. As ASCE President, you've helped the society grow as a global community and professional family. Your student-focused initiatives have paved the way for future engineers to build a better tomorrow. From creating the Student Presidential Group to your historic donation to fund student activities, your heartfelt efforts will support ASCE's growth for generations to come. Your region and institute presidential group has united members from various geographic and technical backgrounds, affirming your role as a true ASCE champion and leader. Your dedicated service to members has laid the foundation for the Society's continued success, and your ASCE family is forever grateful. Congratulations, Jean-Louis, and thank you for a job well done. Dennis Truax has been elected to serve as the 2022 president of ASCE. His daughters, Courtney Truax Reinsch and Kelly Truax, are here to introduce their dad to you. Courtney is an adult geriatric acute care nurse practitioner and advanced provider supervisor working in Pensacola, Florida, specializing in urgent care. She is currently completing an advanced doctorate degree. Kelly is working towards a PhD in Earth and Planetary Sciences at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, while conducting research also to develop a new remote technology for the DOE and NSSA that can detect heavy metals and radionuclides in vegetation. Please welcome Courtney and Kelly.
An introduction is often used as a means of describing a person of interest, an event, or an inspiration. For myself and my sister, the person we are introducing today is someone that we know well, love, and admire. Our father, Dr. Dennis Truex, has been given the opportunity by the ASCE community to serve as your president. Giving 41 years to Mississippi State University, our father retired as the James T. White Endowed Chair, Department Head of Civil and Environmental Engineering, and a director of the Mississippi Transportation Research Institute. He's not only a mentor, but involved and dedicated to the field of civil and environmental engineering, working and leading several ASCE committees and task forces since the beginning of his career. Additionally, our father led and spent several years heading the Mississippi State Chapter of Engineers Without Borders, a group that provided sustainable and clean water to people of southern Zambia. He has been a leader within NSPE, NCEES, ABET, the Mississippi Board of Licensure for Professional Engineers and Surveyors, and the On-Site Wastewater Advisory Council for the Mississippi Department of Health. Yet these achievements do not completely define the impact that this one person has had in his lifetime.
Dr. Dennis Truex is not easily described in words, which seems fitting for a person who has instilled in us the notion that the actions we take carry far more weight. How we carry ourselves as individuals and how we reach beyond ourselves to provide resources, knowledge, and opportunities to our communities has always been a constant in our upbringing. As we grow older, we have come to understand that the communities we serve are not just local or physical, not just education to the public or advocacy at the university and corporate level for diversity and inclusion. Community is a collection of people and ideas. And when we advocate for others, we also advocate for ourselves to further grow a profession and generation of scientists and engineers who work together in collaboration to make new strides, fight for the ethics we hold dear, and to look forward from the foundation of the past. Though our father has been selected as president of ASCE, it was your collective voice as a community that made that decision. I couldn't be prouder of the advocate you have chosen on your behalf. Though we admit we have our biases, we have grown up knowing our father as a hardworking, dedicated educator and engineer who tirelessly strove to improve anything and everything he was a part of. We have no less of an expectation for his tenure as president. We can only ask that you listen to what he has to say and realize it comes from a place of caring and compassion. We fully believe that ASCE is in the prime position to achieve its goals under such a community and profession concerned leader. With that, we could not imagine any other words to describe such an endearing and prolific individual. Though we are sure there are plenty of you out there that have words and experiences of your own to share. Congratulations to our father and to ASCE for what you have already accomplished and for what has yet to come. Thank you.
I was born July 25, 1953 in Western Maryland. Most of my childhood was spent out in the country when my parents moved there near my grandparents. My maternal grandparents actually spent a good bit of time raising me because my mother was always at school and my dad was always at work. Most people would be really surprised to know that I love model railroading. I picked that up from my grandfather, who had a 1930s era train set. I inherited that. My first recollection of Jeannie, the love of my life, my best friend, was 7th grade science class.
He says junior high, but high school.
She was sitting 2 rows up and 1 row to the left.
I didn't notice him until high school. Dated on and off for 7 years.
Jeannie and I were married August 20th, 1977.
At my church, which was the First Church of God in Maryland, Orchard Ridge.
My mother's aspiration was that I'd become a civil engineer. Went to college to become an architectural engineer, only to find out the university where I was going, Virginia Tech, canceled the program as I was walking through the door, so my mother went out. I became a civil engineer. I have two daughters. My oldest daughter, Courtney, is a nurse practitioner and works in several clinics in Pensacola, Florida. My second youngest daughter is Kelly and has become a geologist working on a PhD in geology at the University of Hawaii, Monona. My first flight was for my 5th birthday. My mother took me to the local regional airport. We boarded a DC-3, flew the 100 miles to National Airport, and during the flight then, I had the opportunity to sit on the pilot's lap and pretend to fly. And I've been flying largely by myself or with the family ever since. I was at Mississippi State for 41 years as a member of the faculty.
I don't know that I've met another educator in this field especially that is as concerned and interested in the students' benefit and success.
I think civil probably has a really high retention rate at Mississippi State because of him, because he's just really great about not only teaching us the technical skills, but helping us see the passion behind the career, which I think is missing a lot of the time, but he definitely wasn't missing any of that passion.
Engineers Without Borders at Mississippi State was a project I took on in part because of ASCE.
So the Engineers Without Borders trip that I was involved with Dr. Truax was to Zambia, Africa. We were working in a village called Simwatachela, and it's in the southern region of Zambia. And we were working on installing hand-pumped water wells for drinking water. With Dr. Truax and our other professional mentors that were there supporting us, the students were able to, get involved in the installation as much as possible, but also really focus on building the community relationships and working with the community to understand their needs.
And we were able to change the lives of those people by putting in wells, which sustained a clean water supply on a 12-month basis.
I believe that Dr. Truax will be a great president for ASCE. He will provide a strategic pathway that many of the members and younger members can get on board with and move forward and make our profession an even more desirable profession to be in.
Dr. Truax has definitely been probably one of the most important mentors I've had in civil engineering and in just life in general.
Dennis is passionate about engineering because he wants to make the world better for everyone else. Dennis found what he loves to do.
Thank you, Courtney and Kelly, for sharing your perspective on dear old dad and taking time from your busy schedules to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, these two wonderful ladies and my wife, Jeannie, have been such an important part of my personal and professional life. I likely would not be here today if not for their support and understanding. These three can count on one hand all the family trips we've made that didn't include work in some form, and often that work related to ASCE. I don't suspect that will change anytime soon, and they have my undying love and gratitude for their help and all that they'll put up with in the year to come. Now, you might ask why they'd be so tolerant of my commitment to serving this profession. Well, as many of my friends, former students, colleagues, and even first-time acquaintances have remarked, I am passionate about the civil engineering profession, and to me, ASCE is integral to this profession. I refer to comments like this as that of being a servant leader. As the term suggests, this commitment is more about service to others than it is about a leader, or it's about being a professional. As the author Mark Sanborn would say, leadership isn't about having a title. True leadership is never about authority or power. It is about helping others grow, and that's something anybody can do. It is shown through our actions and how we impact others. Sanborn advocates that a genuine leader acts with purpose, cares about others and listens to them, and looks for impactful ways to encourage and develop others. As civil engineers, don't we each impact lives every day? Of course we do. The projects we plan, design, construct, and maintain shape people's lives. And if you recognize your servant leadership role, your professional role in society, you will be a change agent. The results of your labor can be a foundation for inclusive socioeconomic platforms that are equitable for all. Hence, we must accept the responsibility to be environmental stewards in everything we do. We must place others before self, as the ASCE Code of Ethics outlines. As servant leaders, as professionals, we must strive to ensure that we do the right thing, not just find satisfaction in doing things right. We are on the horizon of a very exciting time. Today, more than ever, we need to realize that our professional responsibility to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public includes our becoming servant leaders in our workplace, our community, our profession. This challenge means that it's up to us to communicate with clients, government leaders, and the public to increase awareness of the importance of robust, resilient infrastructure systems suitable for the 21st century. They need to understand that addressing the needs of tomorrow requires that we build a better system using new priorities, new methodologies, processes, and materials in a sustainable way if we are to have an infrastructure system that facilitates community success rather than limits it. The ASCE report card is the start of this conversation, but each of us must share the message. Who wouldn't want to be engaged as a servant leader, a change agent who helps create tomorrow? Passion is ignited as one advocates a cause that is greater than themselves. And that greater cause, what greater cause could we have if not to improve the quality of life? How could one keep from becoming passionate when presented with this opportunity to make impactful, purposeful change like our profession does every day? Well, that's exactly the situation we find ourselves in as civil engineers. CareerExplorer.com conducted an online survey that asked respondents about their career satisfaction. As it turns out, civil engineers rate their career happiness so low, it puts it at the bottom of the 20%. US News and World Report ranks civil engineering as 82nd out of 100 best jobs. Another study suggests that the pandemic has motivated employees to either reconsider their career or seriously look for other positions at a rate of about 60% of the workforce. So why does this situation exist? As an educator of 5 decades who's seen numerous graduate students leave this profession, I think I have at least part of the answer. Over half of our workforce are part of a generation that developed a value set of stewardship, community service, and living impactful lives. In addition, most expect to live lives of limitless value, which allows rewarding balance between life, work, relationships, and self. Yet they have not clearly defined what rewarding truly means in each of these areas. They know money is important, if for no other reason they face student loan debt. Sadly, this is insurmountable for many. But more importantly, they would not have gotten into civil engineering if money was the only thing that drove them. However, this new generation of engineers has entered a workplace based on a 100-year-old model focused on product and profit. Increasingly, this environment is run by individuals who don't see engineers as professionals, but commoditized as replaceable staff. They have forgotten that, as Mark Sanborn would say, the idea of status quo is a myth, and that we are either getting better or getting worse. The solution, as I see it, is creating an impactful, successful organization, engaged people are involved with their work and compelled to do their best. Engaged people work smarter, serve better, innovate. Yet for many, the workplace is anything but engaging. It's a place where engineering creativity goes unrewarded. It's about following the codes, precedents, and policies. It's about billable hours over productivity or providing opportunity to directly impact society. It is an environment that is stifling to the creative and devoid of vision for many in our profession, young and old alike. You see, they understand that we are all playing the infinite game called life. It isn't about winning all the marbles, but rather about making a difference. But when they aren't provided the opportunity to be impactful, to obtain personal success and professional growth as they have defined it, the outcome is that these creative individuals leave this profession at the very time we need them most. So, seeing this as the problem, what's the solution? Well, you and ASCE, yes, you and ASCE have roles to play to help offset the situation. Outside of your ability to impact the work environment, I invite you to expand the mentoring role you have. ASCE supports a robust mentoring program in the Collaborate community. By volunteering for this program or programs at the local level, or just taking this mantle on yourself, you can be the positive force in the lives of those who struggle to find their place in this profession. ASCE is organized to provide member value, including a member support structure in our geographic units and institutes, younger member programs, the new student transition program, and so much more. However, we each have a responsibility to help everyone in our profession engage, to become members of ASCE, so that they may avail themselves of these resources and become the best possible version of the professional we need them to become. Yes, I'm suggesting the solution is you, me, and ASCE. I challenge you to invite a colleague who's not a member of ASCE and a recent engineering graduate as well to find out more about ASCE and how important it can be in their lives. Bring them to an ASCE event or 2 or 3, whether it's a service project, a social event, a chapter or section meeting, or some other ASCE sponsored activity. It only matters that they get a chance to network with you and others to experience the professional and personal development value that we offer. It only matters that they get a chance to engage, much like you did when you first became part of our society. This is not to say that you and ASCE can't partner to create a better workplace. We should be helping change our work environment into one fostering innovation to meet the challenges facing our profession today and in the future. With our collective effort, we should be embracing a new model of productivity through partnerships with agencies, firms, and companies. We can help design a sustainable workplace that enriches engineers as we move forward. By the way, some firms are already in this mode and are successfully moving in this direction. With our help, those who won't change will eventually go the way of the dinosaur. As a basic principle for this change, one need only draw on the lessons touted by author Simon Sinek. It starts by realizing that when people are vested financially in your organization, they expect a financial return and leave quickly if they don't get it. But when people are emotionally invested, when they are engaged, when they understand the why of the 21st century engineer and engineering profession and how we are impacting the future with robust, resilient, sustainable systems, then they become part of the organization they engage. And with that emotional engagement, they will lead to extraordinary, discretionary effort without expectation of getting something back, but rather with the expectation of having positive impact. In short, they will want to give than be expecting to get. This is an exciting time to be in this profession. I hope you share my enthusiasm for challenges facing us because, ready or not, civil engineers, this is our time. You will find an ASCE and the ASCE Foundation are working continuously to support the profession and the professional needs that face us with this change. We have put in place strategic programs like the Grand Challenge, Dream Big, Future World Vision, an international revered suite of publications, a plethora of online and in-person educational products. And much of this is free to members. Much of this provides value to those who are engaged. We're helping repel the attack being waged on professional licensure in so many states. We are working to expand our impact and professional opportunities in the global marketplace. We are the ones who have for more than 2 decades pushed and improved the U.S. infrastructure system through the National and State Infrastructure Report Cards, and we are succeeding. When other organizations said it couldn't be done or abrogated the responsibility to help get it done, you and ASCE responded and said, we see a better, brighter option, and we're going to work together to make this vision of a better tomorrow a reality. We accepted this challenge, not because it enriches our coffers, but because it was our professional responsibility to advocate for a better quality of life. Lastly, these and other initiatives will require the collaborative engagement of members working with the leadership of institutes, regions, sections, and branches. ASCE's programs will need to be formative to meet member needs, maintain professional integrity, and facilitate workplace transparency, equality, diversity, and inclusiveness. In short, we need to define a value proposition suited for all civil engineers and their employers, clients, and society. One that is sustainable and reflects stewardship and an outstanding understanding and response to the climate change that we now face. So there's a lot to be done. If we each accept our opportunity, know our responsibility to undertake the challenges of being engaged and helping others engage with us towards success, we can make this vision of the future reality. Will you join me in accepting ASCE's call to be a servant leader? Our work is cut out for us, and we need your help as part of this solution. Once again, I thank my family for their constant support in accepting this opportunity to serve. I also wish to thank Laura Wilson and Jacob Forrester for their contribution to the video you saw earlier. I want to thank the leadership and staff at ASCE who, by any measure, are some of the best people you could ever hope to work with. And lastly, I must thank each of you for attending the convention and for attending the business meeting and our installation of the 2022 officers. I hope you have enjoyed the 2021 convention so far and find the rest of our second virtual convention to be enlightening and rewarding. I would ask that you take a few moments to go to the convention website to listen to the acceptance remarks of our award speakers, our award winners, and learn more about our society awards. Lastly, we look forward to seeing you in California next year. And with that, I officially adjourn the annual business meeting of ASCE. Take care.